Welcome back, guys, to the Junk Room. It's me, Junkman, coming back at you for a noon video today. We're going to take a look at a Kenner binder, which showed their plans for the 1986 Kenner line. As we all know, Kenner Council line before 1986, so none of these came out, but some of the stuff in these binder was just stuff from 85, so it's kind of 85, 86, or some of the stuff you have seen before. But I thought it'd be fun to, I've talked about this line before, but I don't know if I've ever went through every page of this binder. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about. Let's look at page 1 right here. You're looking at just a simple binder. Looks like they cut out a Star Wars logo off something and glued it right there on the cover. So let's go to page 1. We got the table of contents, and it looks like someone working for Kenner made some notes about switching around, maybe bringing the characters up to the top. As you can see, it has the 1985 line. Then the Epic Continues, which would have been the 1986 line, where they kind of went off on their own, kind of the EU Star Wars plan, if everything went according to plan, that is. And you can see Governor Tarkin would have been made. And then you had the ships like X-Wings, Luke's new X-Wing. I did a video on that one. The Skyhopper, landspeeder, and a lot more. Let's look at page 2. It's just more of the index here, not really much to talk about here. It does show the playset Imperial Outpost, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. 4 is presentation binder notes. It just kind of tells you what more is going to be in here, what's going to be on the index. Really nothing I can add to that page right there. Luke Skywalker for the 1986 line. There he is. This is post Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. How he would have looked after the movie and their EU, if they went with this EU that they thought about doing. They came really close to doing it before canceling the line. You have him in some kind of brown vest with his lightsaber. Looks pretty cool if you ask me. And then you have Han Solo, more of a general look, I guess, more of a leader look here. Now, I've done a whole video about the whole storyline of this, so I'll link that at the end of this video. So I'm not going to go over that. This is more just to look at the binder itself. So there's the Han Solo figure we would have got. Now, it'd be kind of cool. Kenner's going back, Kenner or Hasbro's going back doing all these retro figure lines. Hey, why not give us the 1986 line we almost got? That might be fun. Page 7 is Beefhead. That's right, Mango Beefhead. As you can see, it looks like maybe part of a... I don't know what this is. It's a bunch of aliens. It's like the arms look like Hammerhead. I give them that. Looks like Hammerhead right there. It looks like Squid Face might be part of this figure also. And the chest plate looks like Forlom. So there's Meathead. And 8, we have Grand Moff Tarkin. Sadly, I should say, there was no concept figure made. But believe it or not, they actually was thinking about doing a Tarkin figure very early on. We're talking 1976, 78. There were some production notes there where his name was on the notes, and they just didn't do it. I did also, if you want to search for it, a whole video about why they didn't release Tarkin, although there's no really official reason why, giving my thoughts on why they didn't release Tarkin. So there's Tarkin. We would have got him. Here's Atha Prime. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. You'll tell me I didn't. This is the backstory of the EU character they were working on. Linked it to the Clone Wars. Very interesting. Now, I didn't say this about Tarkin. Let's go back to Tarkin real quick. He would have escaped the Death Star in this EU line that was going to bring him and say they escaped the Death Star at the last second in an escape pod. I don't know how you feel about that one. And here's a Clone Warriors trooper that would have been in the expanded universe line for 1986. It looks pretty cool. I like his little red cape, that's for sure. Let's go on to the next place here. Look at a droid. This is Blue 4. Concept drawing, but just a made-up droid. Looks really good. Now, I'm not really sure how I would have felt about this line at 86. By 86, I would out of Star Wars, but I don't know if I've been interested in buying a Star Wars line with stuff that wasn't in the movie. And then on page 13, you had this little black Astro droid. This is, I think you see one of these in the Death Star in A New Hope, so that's interesting they were bringing it. It looks really cool. Let's go to page 14, and here's another. This is some kind of attack droid here, and it looks like, I see that's 21B. It looks like an IG-88 torso and a couple of little things put together. Now, these probably would have looked different by the time it went to concept, but still, it's kind of neat looking at what they were thinking about doing anyway. Here's another attack droid. I mean, you know who body that is. I don't have to tell you. Look, it's got his gun at the top. This is just really, really weird here. This is by far one of the weirdest figures they would have came up with. No head, just the gun on top. That's just a loon. Then there's another kind of little small, not an R2 unit, but something like an R2 unit, I guess. Imperial Attack Droid C. And one of these little rockets shot off. It would be kind of cool if they did. 7 is concept drawings of the blockade runner. Now, this would have been awesome to have. There's some prototype photos of it out there. Again, done a video on that. But this would have been a massive cool ship that I wish we got back in the original run. I mean, it is, I know it's in Return of the Jedi, but when you see it, you automatically, most of us think A New Hope. I mean, that's where it comes to mind the most. Here's the Ewok vehicle. Now, of course, this did get released in the 1985 Power of the Force line, the Battle Wagon. But here's a photo of it. You can see right there with the skull on top of it. That's one creepy looking skull. And we have the A-Wing fighter, which did get released, but it got released over in the droids line. The A-Wing would have got released in the regular Star Wars line, but sadly it didn't because that line got canceled. Instead of just throwing it away, they re-released it in the droid line. So a little interesting right there. Number 20 is one that we did get released, a Tatooine Skiff. This is my holy grail. I have like a 90s version behind me in some of my videos. This one I would really love to have, but this is the prototype of it anyway. And look at it. I wish I knew about it. I wish I was in the toys when this came out because this looks so awesome. If I was about 10 and this came out, I would have absolutely loved it, and without a doubt, I would have broke it within 2 weeks. It looks like it doesn't last long. Now, sadly, this binder, pages 20 and 22 are missing. 21 would have been X-Wing, which we believe was just the regular X-Wing. And then Luke's Titanium X-Wing, which is painted different, and I did a whole video on that. But sorry, we don't have those. 23, on page 23, was the Skyhopper. That's right, it was going to release a Skyhopper. Remember, this is the ship that Luke's playing with in A New Hope. And, you know, he kill womp rats in it. There's not really a good drawing, but they did release this ship in the 90s, so we did finally get that ship. Then we have on page 24 the landspeeder. Not really anything different here. I guess they were just gonna re-release it. You know, the landspeeder was around since the 78 line, and it probably sold really well. It was kind of cheap for a vehicle, so why not bring it back out? Now here's another landspeeder. It looks like we're going to update the landspeeder to the XP36 landspeeder right there. Look at those big engines on top. I guess it goes a lot faster than the one Luke had. And then you have the XP38 that has looks more like a ship, and it has 3PO sitting inside of it right there. It says Luke's personal speeder is the latest state-of-the-art variation with upgraded thrusters. It looks pretty cool. We never did get that, sadly. And then on page 27 we have the Snowspeeder. Looks like we're going to re-release it. It was released in the 80s line. It didn't cross over to the Return of the Jedi line, so it would have been perfect for them to bring it back out and try to pick up some extra sales with that. And then we have it again here, and it looks like they painted this one kind of an orange look. Kind of take it out of the snow environment, I guess. Kind of matches it with a Tatooine environment. And there's General Medine getting ready to do some generaling, I guess, right there. And probably one of the most interesting, kind of like mini rig things here, was this little part here that would attach to the Falcon. It goes into the little opening port, and this just kind of worked its way into the Solo movie, so that's interesting. It would have been a nice little add-on for anybody that had the Falcon. And here's a mini rig, the SRV-1. It's kind of like a tank looking thing. It looks pretty cool. I like the gunner station at the top. It's got 2 cannons up there. I like that you can put a lot of figures in the back of it. So I think that would have been a fun toy for sure. And then we have an SRV-1 concept drawing of it right there. It looks pretty interesting for sure. Page 32 is the Bantha. Sorry, it's just concept. They never get that full with it. This is also one that really went back to the early days that they were thinking about doing, but it looks like we would have got it in 1996, but Again, sadly, we never did. And page 33 is one I wish we got, a TIE bomber. Now, in the 90s, we did get a TIE bomber, but I would have loved a TIE bomber. We did get a die-cast TIE bomber, but I would have loved a TIE bomber as a kid. And this one's going back to this was TIE bomber. I think it's only seen in Empire Strikes Back, right? I don't think there's any in Return of the Jedi. So it looks like they were pulling some Empire stuff to cross over into this new line also. Page 34, we have the Snipper. Right here, some little ship. Again, I can't really tell much about it, but that's the ship. Again, more about the storylines in the video. I'll link at the end of this video here. And on 35, we have an AT-AT. It looks like they're just re-releasing the AT-AT here. It looks just like the one we got, so there's really nothing I can add to that. But an updated AT-AT has a big cannon on the back of it. It's opened up in the back. That looks pretty cool. We'd like to see that in a movie. That would be kind of awesome to see. And then we have the bad guys. I guess it's kind of like a Star Destroyer. This looks pretty cool, but how this would have looked as an actual toy ship, I don't know. It looks pretty massive. I can't imagine what this would even look like as a toy. Then at 38, we have the bad guys' Apex Invader vehicle. Look at that thing. That thing is odd looking right there. And on the next page, we have another view of it. That would have been an interesting ship to have, for sure. On the last page, 40, is the Imperial Outpost. This would have been a playset base. And look how huge this thing is, because it has the AT-AT. Remember how big, tall the AT-AT is? It's just standing next to it. And the tower and everything is still way above it. Now, I was at a toy show in Nashville earlier this year. Someone made this themselves. It was pretty awesome. Go back and check out my Nashville toy, my ICC Con. Check it out. I've got videos of it there, and it is impressive to say the least. And to have this thing actually come out would have been amazing. We're talking 86 here. Probably would have some great sound effects, more than those same old sound effects we got with, the TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Falcon. They all made about the same buzzing sound. But anyway, that's a look at the binder, page 1 through 40, except missing page 21 and 22. Sadly, maybe those pictures will turn up one day. But that's a look at the Kinder binder for what was planned 85, 86. I want to thank you for watching. Again, I'll link to that video at the top right here at the end so you can see that. And I guess that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, turn on my content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.